What's going on, YouTube Nation? This is Darth Dividend. If you guys are new to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. SPHD. I told you guys that I was going to do a review on this stock. I'm going to give you my honest opinion, my thoughts. But the best thing about this channel is everything's free. I don't have a Patreon account. I do a stock and dividend analysis video. I show you everything I buy on my YouTube channel. All I ask you to do is smash that like button, comment, be active on this channel. I love the way you guys make comments and give me your honest opinion. I want to get your honest opinion at the end of this video because I'm going to do a stock and dividend analysis. I'm going to give you my honest thoughts, my honest opinion on this dividend stock and what I think of it. So first of all, when you have an ETF, okay, you got to think, what is my goal with this exchange traded fund? Okay, am I getting it on income? Is this an income ETF like qyld or NUSI or JEPI? By the way, I'm going to refer you to one of my buddies that has a amazing video on NUSI. I'll go over that before the my honest opinion and my thoughts on SPHD. But SPHD is a very interesting stock. It's called the High Dividend Low Volatility ETF by Invesco. So when I look at ETFs, I think, okay, what is my goal with this ETF? Is it for me to increase my net asset value? Is it going to increase in price over time? Is it a growth ETF? Is it going to, that's one thing you need to look into. Is it going to get income? Okay. What does Morningstar say? So you always start looking into dividend stocks or ETFs, especially ETFs, by what Morningstar says. That's one of my big things. The expense ratio, what type of stocks are in this ETF. So those are things that come in my head when I have an ETF. What is my goal with this ETF? Do I want to make money from it? Do I want to increase my net asset value and leave it alone? Am I going to get monthly dividends on this stock and just, is it going to increase over time? You know, that's my thought process when I have ETFs. I'm not really an ETF person. I've been, off and on with certain ETFs. There are some amazing ETFs out there. That they have like some stocks in them that don't distribute dividends, like qyld. They have, a huge thing, in their covered call option. It's really interesting the way that ETF is, and it gets you a nice amount of income. But SPHD is one that really needs a close stock and dividend analysis before you make a decision. So we're going to check that out right now. So this is the High Dividend Low Volatility ETF. First of all, looking at this, okay, volatility, that's one thing. Is it a volatile stock? It hasn't done really well against the S&P in the past 5 years, and since inception, the S&P has ran circles around it. So the first thing you want to think is, okay, what is this going to do? It's a low volatility, okay? It's a high dividend, low volatility ETF. Now then you're going to say, what is in this, okay, that makes this a high dividend, low volatility ETF? It has not done well against the S&P. It doesn't look very attractive against the S&P. Or the stocks in it, not very attractive. What is going on? I'm going to reveal to you its portfolio in a second. But that's one thing you want to look into is, what is this? How is it doing against the S&P? This is a fund, okay? ETFs are mini little funds that have stuff in it. So you need to look and see how it's done against the S&P. That's my first tip. Next tip I'm going to give you is we have to look at the expense ratio. So that's a big thing you want to look at, because if you put X amount of dollars in, it gets taken out. Could you put money in other stocks that maybe it, is a part of, or these stocks may be better? So you got to start asking yourself these questions when you invest in ETFs. So let's look at the expense ratio of SPHD. Okay, so it's not too bad, 0.30% expense ratio. But, the next thing that's comes in my mind when I look at ETFs. Okay, I put X amount of dollars in. I'm gonna get that. Oh, thanks for interrupting me. Ad. Its overall score is a 4.8 out of 10, and then the expense ratio is 0.30. That's a little high. I mean, if you look at the Vanguard ETFs, those ETFs are pretty solid. I mean, they don't really have some strong monthly dividend ETFs, but expense ratio of 0.30. Okay, so that's not too bad. Let's see what type of stocks are in SPHD now. So the expense ratio is 0.30. This better be a special stock. That's one thing. If the expense ratio is high, because I have in one of my 403Bs, I'm in, what is it, the BlackRock Health Science Ops. And I mean, you have to have a lot of money to do a buy-in, but I was very lucky because of my employer, because they're affiliated with One America. I put so much money in when I picked up during the pandemic, and I threw that as part of my mutual fund. Let me tell you, I'm up a lot, and that's a well-managed one by BlackRock. So you better get a good bang for your buck if there's a high expense ratio. That's the first thing, my thought process. Is it going to get you, what's in it for me if there's a high expense ratio? So you need to ask yourself that question. Now we have to look at what's inside the pie. What do I want? What is it getting for me? Okay. What stocks are there that make it a high dividend, low volatility ETF? So you really have to study the ETF before you make a call. I'm telling you, you have, when it comes to stocks, that's one thing, but ETFs, first of all, you get money taken out of you because of the expense ratio, okay, from over time. And you got to know what's inside the pie. So we're going to see what's inside of SPHD. Okay, so as of 3/10/2021, I'm on the Invesco website. So they have, here's their sectors, okay? Utilities is about 18%. People Corp, that's one that's on my radar. First Energy, I own. Dominion Energy, Consolidated, Edison, Duke, Southern Tier, Pinnacle West, Entergy, Edison International. Consumer staples. So we have Altria, Philip Morris, Kraft Heinz, Walgreens Boot Alliance, Kellogg, General Mills, Smucker, Kimberly Clark, Information Technology, IBM, Seagate, Hewlett Packard, Western Union, Juniper Networks, Cisco, Broadcom, Communication Services, Lumen Technologies. Gee, I own those guys too. Let's see. So I own, on my dividend portfolio, First Energy. I looked at People Corp actually, is one of my dividend stocks. I own Altria. Philip Morris I'll probably get. Kraft Heinz I'll probably get for consumer staples. These guys I'm considering. I mean, there's a lot of them that I own. Seagate, there's Information Technology. IBM I'm going to get in the future. I'm going to tell you that right now. Lumen Technologies and Communication Services, I have those guys. AT&T, Verizon's going to be on my radar. So Exxon Mobil, I just got a dividend from them today. Yay, yay. Chevron, Kinder Morgan, and I own Iron Mountain, Health Peak Properties, Realty Income. So, okay, Materials, Dow, Amcor, Healthcare, Pfizer, Cardinal Health, Gilead Sciences, Abbey, Consumer Discretionary, Haynes, Newell Brands I own, General Parts, PBCT Financials. This is one I'm considering getting when I open my financial area, and Industrials 3M. Okay, so a lot of these stocks distribute a high dividend. This is one reason why I invested in First Energy. Okay, Altria, Kraft Heinz is one on my radar for sure. Seagate, I own those guys. high yield dividend, Lumen Technologies, and AT&T. Verizon I'm probably going to buy eventually, so you can count that. And energy, I have Exxon. These two I'm probably going to be getting. Real estate, I have Iron Mountain. Health Properties I've looked into. That's one I've highly considered. So you're seeing what it's about, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of these stocks are cheaper. I'm pretty sure First Energy is cheaper than SPHD. Altria, I think it's a little bit more. Seagate's about $10 more. IBM's a lot more, I already know that. Lumen Technologies, AT&T is less, and Lumen Technologies is less. So now we see what's in the pie. I mean, these are high yield, these are high dividend ETFs. Volatility, okay, I can see that. So I own a lot of these stocks. This is one of the reasons why I have them in my portfolio, not because of SPHD, but it's kind of like what I'm looking for. High dividend stocks, they increase their dividend over time. They're known, okay? They're known companies, big companies. People's Corp is cheap. I'm going to tell you right now, that's one that I'm looking at. I'm telling you right now. So here's the thing, okay? You see what's in here. What's in it? You always got to know what's in it. Next, we're going to look at what Morningstar says. So first of all, let's review this. Expense ratio, price per share, and how it's done against the S&P. What's in the pie? And my next tip I'm going to give you is what's in Morningstar. What does Morningstar say? Ouch. Okay, that's a little bit of a pride killer. So Morningstar is really brutal. I mean, they pick you apart. You can get there's a type of website, you can get a 99.99%. You don't get that 0.1. They'll expose you. So it's one. Goes up, goes down. Seems a little volatile to me. It hasn't really done that much to get me really impressed so far. Okay, I did own it, and I sold it, and I owned it, and I sold it. But what am I going to do after this? So I want to look at one last thing with SPHD before I make the call myself, and then you tell me what you think. But first of all, let me refer you to one of my buddies that is a ETF guru. Anytime you have a question about ETFs, this is my man, GW ETF channel, the Dividend Guru. Okay, this is one of my buddies. I've known him for a long time in the dividend investing community. I would consider, since I started with my niche, he's one of the first people that we both subscribed to each other. Ding, ding. And I follow his Instagram as well. So Nusi, I'll post the link in my comment section with his analysis. So he's all about ETFs. So anytime you have a question about ETFs or want to look into stuff, him and I are big fans of qyld, by the way. But this is the guy to go to. Okay, so I just want to let you know. But now let's jump to the dividend history. Of course, my neighbor's dog's going crazy. Let's jump to the dividend history of SPHD. Okay, we got a problem here. 2017, 12 cents, 11 cents, 13 cents, 14 cents, 15. It's not very consistent. I have a problem with this. I'm not, it's going to take a while for a stock like that to really impress me as an ETF, because one thing I like, okay, slowly it's increasing its price per share. Right now, it's not very attractive to me. Now, the stocks it has in there is attractive to me. I may buy this in the future, but I don't like this. It's just, 15 and 14. It's just, I could buy stocks like that I own, okay, First Energy, Lumen Technologies, which I have in my M1 finance portfolio, and not pay an expense ratio of 0.30. So I don't like that. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I was all about SPHD, but not now. I'm going to be honest with you. I did sell it a few times. I can confirm with you that I'm long in First Energy, I'm long in Lumen Technologies, long in qyld, but SPHD has not sold me yet, and I need to really reconsider before I make a move on SPHD. Now, it's not a bad stock. I'm not dogging it completely. I like Invesco as a company. I think very highly of Invesco. They have the QQQ. But it doesn't really, catch me as a high dividend, low volatility ETF, because the one thing that doesn't, it is over time increasing its dividend, which is nice, but that expense ratio is kind of what turns me off when I can put money in realty income, okay, just I think right around $20 more, and it's a rate, and I don't get a discounted, well, I don't get a money taken out. So I don't like SPHD right now. I don't. If I'm going to invest in a ETF, I really want to think, am I going to get a good bang for my buck? And really, I don't think I'm going to get a good bang for my buck. Monthly dividend stocks like Stag or Realty Income qyld, I'll get a good bang for my buck because I know consistently I'm going to get 21 cents, 2019. It's not going to go up. It's just going to stay there, and it's going to increase its dividend over time. And that's what attracts me to qyld. qyld will buy more dividends. Now, I may make a section in my M1 Finance dividend portfolio, a separate dividend portfolio on just monthly dividends, because I do want to get to $1,000 to $3,000 a month on monthly dividends. Could I add SPHD and DHS and some of those dividend stocks by themselves? Sure, I could. But right now, I'm not sold on SPHD. I just don't like the way it looks. So let me know what you think of this video. I know a lot of you guys are ETF investors and stuff. I want to know what you think of SPHD. I don't like the way Morningstar rates it. I don't like the expense ratio. I don't like the price per share. The stocks that they have in there are good, but I might as well just I got money in First Energy and Lumen Technologies and all the other stuff. So I feel pretty confident with the way things are going with those stocks that I own. They usually increase their dividends over time, and they're not as expensive as SPHD. And actually, over time, they're not going to be. Their dividends will probably catch up to SPHD, like Lumen Technologies. And I just like the way those quarterly dividends. I mean, it's just not a good bang for your buck. That's the best way to sum it up. So let me know what you think. And GW, shout out to you, my bro, and the ETF guru. I want to know what you think of SPHD in your next video. So you guys take care and have a good one.